good to see this in person, too.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to ask you about the running backs just going into the spring. Just what's your thoughts of it? You know personnel. I know you're learning a new scheme, and the players are too. But what do you feel like about that running backs room heading into the spring?
I'm excited. I'm excited. Obviously, being led by Eric Gray and Marcus Major, and then adding a young guy like Javante Barnes, who brings a different kind of dimension to our room. We're extremely excited. Obviously, Gavin will be here later on, and then you got Jade Knowles, Todd Hudson, and we're extremely excited. I'm excited to. More importantly, just to get a full spring, full summer under my belt with these guys, and obviously the new offense, and those guys have picked it up very well, kind of holding their own meetings and being led by Eric Gray. So it's been awesome, and just to see their faces, obviously after the Alamo Bowl, and then getting back here and just having a fresh start on things. But it's an exciting new time.
You mentioned Eric Gray. I guess this would be his third different offense in 3 years. So does it look good, though, that you have an upperclassman taking command of that and kind of help the younger players through this process?
It is. He's done a terrific job. Even last year, coming to this new system, picked it up within a week or two. And, this offense now, we're all learning it together, and he may know it better than I do right now. So he's a pro. He's extremely sharp in what he does on and off the field, and he's handling it the right way. Even Marcus is doing a really good job at picking the offense right up. So, those two guys are doing it the right way on and off the field, and happy to have those guys back.
Thank you, Mark.
John Hoover? Joe John said something a few minutes ago that caught my attention. Good to see you again, by the way.
Likewise, yep.
And that was he was talking about the differences between Brent and your previous coaches here, whether it was Bob or Lincoln. And he said the soul mission has taken things to a new level. He said he's never seen anything like it in all the stops that he's been at. You're new to coaching, so I don't know how many stops you've been at. You can compare like he can, but just the impact that it's had, your thoughts on the impact that it's had on those guys and what it means to them.
I think it's been extremely beneficial for those guys because you have guys who, just like them, they've been in this situation. They've been in the water, hot or cold, whatever it may take. But you have guys who've been in their shoes before, and different from a coach. More of a father figure, brother figure. Just specifically thinking about Curtis Loftman. He's a guy who is fresh out of the league, extremely smart, extremely versatile in his life and what he's done at this level and at the next level. But guys want to be where he's been. Guys want to be where those other guys have been. So it's something that has definitely helped out tremendously from a coaching perspective, because obviously you're always recruiting, you're always in different roles and busy. But those guys get a chance to really meet with those guys, break it down from a personable level, and it's awesome to have those guys here. But the Soul Mission team, they've done an unbelievable job thus far.
Could you use something like that when you were playing?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. You don't have those type of relationships sometimes, but I think it's just bringing a more cohesive unit together, just more of a family atmosphere together, and just letting those guys depend on us. Hey, we're not just here for football. We're here for just life, school, academics, girlfriends, whatever the case may be that you're struggling with or that you're doing something good with.
Ryan Aber?
Yeah, DeMarco, you mentioned Javante Barnes there a little bit earlier, and I see a lot of changes there from Bedlam until that next couple of months. How important was it to get him on board? What was that recruitment like, and just what have you seen about the way that you expect him to fit into this offense?
It's been ongoing for about 3 years. I was recruiting him at Arizona. Knew I didn't have a chance there, but I tried. But he's been an unbelievable kid, very smart, and just to have him here as a mid-year has been extremely good. Just for him, just to obviously get stronger, bigger, faster, get acclimated to the offense, to school, time management. A lot of things that young guys struggle with, but he's done an unbelievable job, and just hearing from different coaches, different players, just every single day, every single week, he's improving. But I'm excited to have Javante here. Really, really excited. Obviously, can't wait to start spring ball with them to kind of move to that phase on the football field phase. But we're excited to have him.
Appreciate it, DeMarco. Good talking to you.
James Hale?
Hi, Marco. You talked about the new offense and how it was, we always think running backs fit into every offense.
Yeah.
But are they is it a different situation for you with the running backs in this offense and, how you're going to be used and everything, or is it running backs or running backs?
No, to a certain degree. I think in this offense, just kind of looking at the stats, the first thing I did was kind of compare the numbers, rush attempts, and things of that nature, and just the plays. I think ultimately we're going to have more opportunities to be on the field, which is great, and we obviously. The previous offense was a little bit more slow, but this is the tempo-wise, it's a little bit more faster. So I think in this offense, we're going to have more chances just to run the ball because of the number of plays that we will get. But, there's different schemes and different things of that nature that, we'll be adding. And Levy's done a great job at obviously implementing his footprint on this offense in the run game, the passing game, and, just spending some time with him over the last couple of months. He wants to run the ball, so that's definitely music to my ears.
Receiver too, as receivers too?
I hope so, definitely. We'll see. Can't tell you too much, but we'll see. Definitely.
Hey, Coach. Marcus Major, he's had his up and downs since he's been here. Last year came on at the end, ball game looked pretty good at the end of the game. Can you talk about his growth from, I guess, the trials and tribulations that he went through last year to where he's at now on a personal perspective and as a player, and your expectations for him moving forward?
Yeah, Marcus, he's a great kid. He really is, and guess I've been doing this going on my 4th year, but he's probably one of the kids that I probably root for more than anyone, just because the kind of kid that he is, and just knowing that what type of player he can be and what type of player he should be. But he's had a really good offseason. Just continue to try to push him and really just make sure that he's always giving his full effort and maximizing his opportunities. And he's done that, thus far. But you got to continue to obviously, do that, build on that, and compete. I think the biggest thing in our room that I want to have is competition. And, those guys know nothing's going to be given to them. No matter if you're the starter here today, there's no guarantees for tomorrow. Every single day that's the best thing about this place and in our room ever since I've been here. No matter who you are, you got to prove it and earn it every single day. So I think those guys have a clear understanding of that. And, Marcus has done a really good job. And once again, he just has to continue to just come along and compete. But, as we all do, we all have to get better in every area of our game. And, the best guy's going to play.
The table in the corner, Terry Murdoch.
Hey, DeMarco. When you're thin at the running back position and you have new guys coming in, how much of a challenge is that just determining, how physical to be, not wanting to get guys banged up to where they're not able to be out there? I mean, not just this spring, but going into next fall. How much do you have to think about that?
Yeah, being physical, I think you can't, that's something that you can't look past. You have to obviously, put the best guys out there. But I think you have to be smart in certain situations, certain live situations, if you are thin. And we feel really good about where our room is and where it's going to be heading, So I don't consider us thin. I feel like we're in a great situation, great spot, and we're always evaluating and trying to get better, and we will get better. But, I think there's a give and take for that. Obviously, running backs, it's a physical position, the most physical position in my eyes, and we ask those guys to do a lot. But, you just got to be smart in certain situations, like I said, in live situations. But at the end of the day, it's a contact sport. You want those guys to feel it, often and early. But obviously when you, kind of get close to the season, you want to taper it down a little bit.
Stay on that side, Gary.
Hey, Marco, what do you remember thinking of Brent when he was a coordinator and you were a player here?
We used to go at it, in a fun way. I've always had a tremendous amount of respect for him, and obviously being a running back, you kind of with the linebackers a lot. And he was a guy that recruited me out of high school, out of Las Vegas, when he was recruiting Ryan Reynolds. So I saw a lot of them, have a lot of respect for him still to this day. And he is the one thing that I always said was he's a player's coach. And I remember, obviously, Curtis and Ryan and hanging out with those guys. They always loved and admired Coach Venables because of not just how smart he was in the position that they put him, that he put them in on the field, but he loved them, he cared about them, and fast forward 10, 15 years later, it's the same thing. You know, he loves the players, he cares about them, and you can just feel the energy and the synergy behind our team and our locker room on, you know what, yeah, we obviously know we got to win games, but, you know, he cares about all of them, and he's trying to get to know each and every last one of them every single day, and, you know, that's important to him, and he knows that, players know that, and, you know, you have, as a former player, when you know a coach loves you and cares about you as a man, as a player, excuse me, not as a player, but as a person, you'll do anything for him.
What were your first impressions of him when he was recruiting you? Do you remember?
Great guy. He was a great guy, and like I said, extremely smart, extremely savvy, but, you know, he is a, you know, he can get down with the players, he can hang out with the players, he can laugh with them, and also you can talk ball with them, and obviously he's one of the smartest guys in the room.
And we'll go to Ryan Chapman in the corner.
Hey, Marco, you talked about Eric's mental aspect a little bit, but stepping in kind of a new role last year alongside Kitty, he got to be kind of a boomer bust guy. What have you seen from him as far as trying to find that consistency to take over and be an RB1 consistently ahead of this year?
Well, you know, when you have a guy that's done some of the things that he's done in the SEC, he's, you know, there's nothing that he hadn't seen that, you know, that's going to separate him from any other guy. But obviously KB came along, and, you know, I think early on trying to find that guy who can be that guy, and KB just kind of, you know, took that role a little bit and got hot, and, you know, at that position, you got to kind of feed the hot hand, and I think KB did that, and Eric did a great job at coming in and making plays. You know, he was definitely our most explosive player on offense last year, and I don't see why that's going to change with his work ethic. And obviously, we got a lot of great players on offense, but, you know, Eric can do so many different things, not just from the running back position, but obviously we line him up at slot a lot, obviously in the returning game, obviously outside receiver, inside receiver, but he's extremely dynamic and extremely happy to have him.
And we'll go to John Hoover.
You're no doubt, DeMarco, immersed in offensive terminology and learning and finding out what Jeff Levy wants from you guys, teaching and all that. But I wonder if you could have gained any perspective on the kind of defensive minds that you guys have hired, that Brent brought with him, how sharp they are, what kind of philosophies they have. Obviously, Brent's the tip of the spear there.
Yeah, I mean, we brought in a really great staff, really competitive staff, and at some point we'll definitely sit down with those guys. Just hadn't had time yet, but I've already talked to Coach Roof, Coach Bates about, hey, just be ready because I'm going to be picking your brains quite a bit. But I'm extremely excited to learn from those guys and obviously compete against those guys and once again learn from them. I think that's the biggest thing. And they've been to the fire, they've been in the fire, they've won a lot of championships, been in a lot of big time games and things of that nature. So, you know, we're extremely excited to have those guys.